Good evening, guys, and welcome to the show, the webinar. Obviously, before we get started, what I want to do is a bit of housekeeping. Just obviously checking that you can hear us and see us as well, and everything's coming through pretty well for you before we get started, because obviously we don't want to start if you can't see or hear us. So if you could put it into the chat box, please let us know that you can see us and also hear us. We'll be underway in sort of a minute or so. While we're waiting, Mark, do you want to call out some of the guys you can see in the room?
Yes, welcome to Kurt. There's Charles in the room. There's Jim, Keith, Charlie Rains, Ray, David, Ron, and welcome Saul.
How you doing, guys?
Yeah, warm welcome to you.
We're just, as I said, for anybody that's just dropping into the room late, we're just doing the housekeeping, making sure people can hear us before we get started, and then obviously we'll officially get the show underway. So we're just keeping an eye on the chat box. We do know there is a delay, but we're hoping that one of you will obviously catch up with us. Yes. So Keith saying it's okay in Iowa, so he can hear us. That's good. Saul saying, hey Chris, it looks and sounds great. Ron, yes. Charlie Rains is all good in Atlanta. So the comments are all starting to come in now. Obviously we can get underway. Hello and welcome to Marketers Radio, episode number 2. Now in this episode we have a special guest, Matthew Houghton, who recently launched his incredible green screen product. Now this product burst onto the market and was an instant smash hit, propelling Matthew into the eyes of many video creators and marketers online. He's also got a very large and growing Facebook group, of which I'm one of the admin, and this is also dedicated to video marketing. Now, we negotiated for over a week to get Matthew onto the call, and we finally managed to get him onto tonight's show. Now, tonight we're going to be discussing Matthew's launch and also over what green screen is and how you can integrate this into your video marketing efforts. So welcome to the show, Matthew. How you doing, and good evening.
Yeah, all right, Chris. Yeah, you right?
How are you? Everything good?
You've got Ian with you as well, Matthew.
Yeah,
Ian's been... He's been helping with the launch, hasn't he? So.
Yeah, he's been right there all the way, really. So.
Yeah, great.
I couldn't have done it without him, to be honest.
Yeah. So Matthew, obviously the first portion of tonight's show, we want to go over basically the launch. We want to discuss the launch and how the launch itself went for you. Different sort of things about your launch, and then in the second half of the show, of course, we want to go over what the incredible green screen actually is. So, Mark, would you like to fire away with the first question?
Yes, really, I'd like to sort of perhaps go back before the launch, Matthew, and just ask you where the idea for green screen came from. I'm sure our listeners would be quite interested in that.
Right, yeah. You mean how I started to get into green screen?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, well, I mean, basically, the reason I started to get into green screen was because, I didn't have a recording studio, or I don't have a recording studio, and, all my videos were basically sort of shot in the living room in my house at that point, and I wanted to make my videos more exciting, and do more with them rather than just being sat in my living room. I either could sort of shoot a video at my table, or I could be sat on my sofa, and that was basically all I was limited to. So, I got a green screen, and then basically, what I could do with that green screen was make really professional looking videos while I was basically just in my living room, So that's why I got into green screen.
Yeah, and you were doing a full-time job at the time, weren't you? So this was something that you developed in your sort of spare time, really.
Yeah, right. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Well, when I first started, like I say, I had to do it in my living room.
Yeah.
But then I progressed out here into the shed, or as I call it, the studio. And I used to have to set my green screen up every time I wanted to use it. I had to get all my lights out, set my green screen up, move all the furniture out the way and everything in the living room, and then take it all down again, like before my wife got home. So now I've actually got you know, something that resembles quite a good studio, and as you can probably see in the background there, I've got the green screen up, and that's where it stays permanently. So if I want to shoot a video, I can just, you know, hop over there to the end of the studio and just shoot a video anytime I want now, which, you know, is really cool. And the same goes again. You know, I'm in a small area here, but you know, I could put myself in a vast studio and nobody would have any idea at all that I'm, you know, just kind of out here in my kind of garden shed. Like, so, you know, the flexibility it gives me, and you know, the videos I can make now are you know, are really good. So.
And Matthew, I'm obviously aware that you recently gave up your job as a cabinet maker. Just explain a little bit about how that felt in terms of leading up to that decision, and how long ago you made the decision, and then how quickly afterwards you did your first launch with Incredible Green Screen. So
Yeah, well, I'd worked at that job for like 10 years, you know, so every day, 10 years, the safety of a job and everything. And I'd been internet marketing kind of just over a year, and I was really getting sick of the job. You know, I was desperate to kind of make it online. And obviously, I went to Miami, as you know, a couple of weeks back, and that for me was like a deadline I set in my mind. And I thought, several months before, I actually gave my boss 3 months notice, and then I had a month between then and going to Miami, and I handed my notice in 3 months before I left, and you know, I did have quite a lot of plans. I planned to already launch a product before I left, but that was delayed. So. You know, I'd handed my notice in. I wasn't going to go back on that. You know, I wasn't going to change my mind. And when I left work, you know, it was an epic feeling, but it was also a very strange feeling. And really, over the last sort of 3 months since I've left, it's been a massive life change. You know, a huge. You know, after 10 years of getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning and practically just driving to work without even thinking about it, and then doing the same things you always do at work, to suddenly being completely free, being able to get up when you want, and to actually have to drive yourself, you know, like as in drive yourself in work and make yourself do things, because the first couple of weeks it's like you're on holiday. You know, you first week it hasn't struck you the first week, because you just think, oh, you know, I've got a week off, and the second week perhaps the same, the third week, and you know, if you're not careful, you could just kind of get really lazy. But the fact that I hadn't launched that first product really, you know, and I had no money coming in, so that really pushed me hard. You know, I knew that I had to make it work. I had no other option apart from crawling back and going back to a job, which you know, I wasn't going to do that. So, you know, that, I mean, not launching that product really pushed me hard, you know. And then of course I went to Miami and hung around with you know, the gurus and, you know, some of the top people in the world of internet marketing, and that really gave me a confidence boost, you know, and they taught me a lot of things, and you know, it really kind of lifted me up, and I connected really well with those guys out there, and you know, it was an experience of a lifetime. You know, and then I came back and launched Incredible Green Screen, because while I was actually away in Miami, I was actually writing the sales page for Incredible Green Screen, because I knew when I got back I wanted to get that out as quickly as possible, really. So that's what I did.
And just in retrospect, in terms of the success of your launch, how important was that visit to Miami?
Well, I mean, I don't know whether Miami, I had a different agenda at Miami, but I think that just the you know, just the feeling of being connected with all those guys,
yeah.
You know, really lifted me up inside. Although it was not really anything to do with Incredible Green Screen. You know what, and you know, like all of them were trying to kind of sort of give me lessons on, you know, you should do this, you should do that, you know, and so I think they, you know, together they all really lifted me up and made me feel a lot more confident to go forward. Like,
did those guys all jump in as affiliates when you did it, Incredible Green Screen, or had you already got your affiliates lined up before you left?
No, some of those guys jumped on during the launch, and some of them are still going to promote it now in the next week or so. So
wow.
Yeah.
Matthew, if you had to define the one thing that you took away from your trip to Miami, what's the one thing that you sort of took away from that? What's the one thing for your business?
Yeah, the one thing, and it's what Matt Basak said to me, the one thing that separates the people that make it online and the people that don't make it online is actually doing something. He said 90% of the people actually don't do anything, and stepping out of your comfort zone and doing something, whether or not it's even good, you know, just actually taking action and actually doing something. So I think that was you know, a big lesson, really. Although, I mean, I was doing things anyway because I had to, but you know, it really hit home the way he explained it, and it, you know, I think it's kind of true, really. So
basically, you have to take action and just keep moving forward. Is that, and take positive action for your business rather than going round in circles? Would that be?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And Matthew, just before we get into talking about green screen, can you just share with us, if you would? Obviously, it's confidential information, but you know, just how many sales you've made to date, because I think again the listeners may be interested in that.
Yeah, I think we nearly hit 1,400.
Yeah, fantastic. And this is your first launch.
Yeah.
Incredible. Well done. Congratulations.
I was not prepared. I was not prepared in the slightest for getting that amount of traffic and that amount of sales. Basically, we had a technical issue the night before, so I was up till 2 o'clock in the morning. The launch was starting at 5 o'clock in the morning. So I had 2.5 hours sleep. I literally rolled out of bed, really tired, came in here, switched on my computer, and I did not move from this spot for 15 hours. It was just non-stop. And the same for Ian here as well. I was messaging Ian at 5 o'clock in the morning before he had actually got up. He got up about, 7:30, was it? Something like that. Sent his guy off to work, and he didn't move either from his computer. And at one point, he sent me a message and just said, "Mate, this is relentless." Like,
Yeah.
it was unbelievable. Like, and then obviously, I mean, I don't know if anybody is listening knows, but the bandwidth went. That
twice.
Yeah, that blew out at like 3. We had 3 gig of bandwidth then, so I was panicking like mad trying to fix that. I then upped that to 10 gig, which should easily be enough for a launch, and then we blew out 10 gig, and in the end, the hosting company put it up to 1 terabyte of bandwidth. Like, so, we were getting absolutely smashed. and you know, we had a couple of other glitches. Like, it just so happened that the Optimized Press site had gone down, the Optimized Press hub, and Incredible Green Screen is built with Optimized Press 2, and I think 2 or 3 of the links, download links, were wrong, and it should have been a simple case of just changing those links, but my API number was not linking with the Optimized Press hub, which meant I couldn't just simply change a link, and people were messaging us like there was no tomorrow, and we were like, yeah, we know the link's broken, we can't change it. Like, and it was just a complete stroke of bad luck that the Optimized Press hub went at the same time as that.
And then sending out the blank email.
Yeah, and of course, yeah, that's it. Yeah,
the username and passwords weren't going out because of the Optimized Press problem. The automatic email that was going out wasn't coming in, so the support queries were coming in for something that was supposed to be automatic.
Yeah,
which was a bit of a
That's a nightmare.
for a little while, yeah.
Do you think you lost any sales as a result of that?
I would say most probably, because when the bandwidth went, I mean, it must have been like 45 minutes that was
Wow.
gone, and there must have been a lot of people hitting the site.
Yeah.
I was literally in here, doubled over. I was on the phone to Ian. He was on chat to the hosting company. I was like doubled over on the floor, like nearly being sick.
I think the problem was we the bandwidth obviously went, so we upped the bandwidth, and then the bandwidth went again, and I went on to live support, and they said we don't deal with queries. It's a response time of about an hour.
Yeah.
So I had to sweet talk this guy really quickly into giving us like support. Like now, I said we've got thousands of people coming towards us. What I'll do, I'll change the support email to your support email, and you can explain to them that they can come back in an hour and come and view it. And he said, well, let me see what I can do. And he done it there and then and changed it. So we fixed that issue quite quickly.
Guys, I think the important thing is knowing what you know now. Just for our listeners, what would you do differently in preparation for your next launch? Would you give some advice to us about how you would prepare yourselves for the next launch, which is coming up soon, I think, isn't it? So
soon, yeah, very soon, yeah. Yeah, well, there is quite a lot of things I would do differently.
Yeah.
I would definitely have more people on standby for help on the help desk, so that I could have stepped away, even if it was for a break, but I could have stepped away and done some other more important things. I would have contacted my hosting company first and you know, and prepared them for the amount of, not that I knew the amount of traffic was coming, but I could have still said that amount of traffic was coming just in case, and I would have been prepared for that. What else?
Support hub.
Yeah, a proper support help desk, because at the moment mine is running through the email account that's on my hosting, and it's getting forwarded to a Gmail account. So
I can give you a solution on that, Matthew. I can give you a very cheap solution on that. But we've got a question here. Which hosting company were you using?
D9.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
They've got a reasonable reputation, so yeah.
And one other thing I have here is there's Charles has basically put into the chat. He's referring to your downtime. He's saying he had to twiddle his thumbs for a couple of hours waiting on the bandwidth to be sorted. So he figured out it was a successful launch, and then I responded. I asked him back a question. Did he buy in the end? And he says yes, he bought it, but he couldn't get to see the site and what he bought. But he obviously was patient enough, and he managed to get access to his content in the end. So you didn't lose every buyer. That's just one of the things I wanted to say.
Sorry about that, but thank you for sticking with us.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. I know. My Skype was going crazy. My Facebook was going crazy. The email support was going crazy. My phone was ringing. People were going, "You've crashed out the bandwidth. This is brilliant. You know, this is sick. This is amazing."
Doesn't feel brilliant.
I was going, "No, it's not. This is terrible." Like,
Mark, you sent me a private message on Facebook on the night before, about 8 p.m. the night before, saying I'm going live in the morning. And apart from my first question was, you haven't actually done much affiliate recruitment or announcements that this launch is coming up. It basically just came on out of the blue. It was quite quiet.
yeah.
What was the second thing that I also said to you about how the weekend was going to be when you told me who was promoting it?
Yeah. You
Nice
said it's gonna be mad or something.
I told you your weekend's going to be effing mental, and I think I was right in saying that.
Yeah.
100%, definitely.
I think you said see you next week or something.
Because when you told me Todd Gross was one of the main affiliates on board, I just knew it was going to be a smash, because he has the luxury of being able to pick and choose which products he wants to get involved in, and obviously having looked at yours, he chose that because he knew it was a good product and something well worth promoting, in my opinion.
Yeah. And not only that, what was really the icing on the cake was he was on stage at the JV Zoo event while my product was number 1 and number 2 on JV Zoo and the product of the day. He was on stage talking about my product, you know, and that really was, you know, just the icing on the cake, really.
Wow, that's. That's incredible.
Okay, so enough about the actual
Green screen.
product itself, Matthew. We'll maybe want to talk a bit about the actual product, what you've put together with Incredible Green Screen. Could you tell us a little bit about what's on the inside of the members area of Incredible Green Screen?
Yeah, well, what Incredible Green Screen is basically, you know, an introduction to green screen. You know, it's not for people that are pros at green screen. It's bringing people into green screen, teaching them the basics of green screen. You know, sort of how to get set up, on a budget, and you know, mistakes to avoid that new people would avoid. So obviously speeding up the process of being able to achieve a good green screen video. Yeah, there's a free software version in there, a video in there, and there's I take you through editing as well using Camtasia, and there's a module there with Christian who takes you through Sony Vegas. So it shows you how to edit, how to chroma key. Then I take you through how to actually use your green screen to make money with green screen videos. There's a free virtual studio in there which you can use with full rights. So you could use that in several different ways. You know, as a lead magnet to build your list, or.
Want to explain what virtual studio is? Some people might not know.
Yeah,
Well,
could you let us know what you're referring to as a studio?
Yeah, well, obviously the green screen effect is where you film yourself with a green background, and then you take away that green, make the background transparent, and then you can put any background behind yourself. So virtual studio is like basically a virtual set that once you've taken the green away, you can place yourself inside that studio or in front of a background, basically. So, you know, a virtual studio is just a nice background that you can put yourself into.
Okay.
I want to ask if for anybody that's listening that hasn't ever done a green screen video, Matthew, and maybe thinking this is sort of like a bit too complicated, can you just explain, you know, what equipment they might need and what it would cost them, and then, you know, whether it's well within the reach of anybody that's never done this before? Can you just explain a bit about that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is, you know, easily within the reach, because when I bought my equipment, you know, I wasn't particularly well off. You know, you can get. I mean, it depends how far you want to take it. But for somebody who just wants to start and they just want to do some green screen videos, there's tons and tons of kits that you can get on eBay and Amazon, where, you know, a lot of them come with the green screen and the lights and everything, or you can buy them individually. You know, I think you could probably get a whole kit for maybe like $80, $90, or, you know, $90 around that. That's your lights, your green screen. With a camera, I mean, you could use your phone. A phone is good enough quality to record. So if you don't have a camera, most people have got a phone with a camera on. And then you would need some editing software, which that depends really, you know, how much you want to spend. I use Camtasia. Camtasia is my software of choice because I find that really, really easy to use. But, you know, like I say, I show you in the product where you can get free software from as well, and use free software. So, you know, for somebody who just wants to make some sort of fancy videos, whether it's internet marketing or working for other clients, you know, if you just want to get started with green screen, you know, you could start for you know, $100, I would say, which isn't that much. So it's definitely within the reach. And you can also get paint as well. You don't have to use material. You know, if you've got a spare room or a wall in your office, you can just literally paint the wall as well. So, you know, it's not an expensive thing to start up.
Could you get away with a well-lit room rather than buying lights, or do you think lights are an essential part of this?
I would say you probably would pretty much need lights, yeah. I've never tried it without lights, though, so I couldn't actually say. But lighting up the green screen is pretty important, because you want a nice even light on your green screen so that it's a lot easier to get rid of when you edit it with your software. So
it stops the fuzzy green edges around.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
lighting, in my opinion, is super important, and it's something that a lot of people don't actually discuss when they refer to green screen videos. I think
Yeah.
lighting is really as important, if not more important, than the green material behind you. And one other tip that I would like to drop in is be aware what clothes you're wearing when you're recording a green screen, because if you're not careful, you can either merge into the background, or certain portions of your clothing can merge into the background and you get weird effects. So you're better off sticking with single colours and possibly dark colours in front of the green screen.
Yeah. I actually did it. I did it while I was making Incredible Green Screen. I actually wore a jumper with green writing on it when I made one of the videos. and I went to edit the thing, and I thought, no way, I've just done what I said not to do, like, you know.
Yeah.
So, have you any sort of tips for anybody that's getting into green screen for the very first time about their first handful of videos? Matthew, have you any tips on how they could better their videos, or what to do with their first couple of videos?
Well, I don't know. I mean, the best thing I would say, you know, is just, if you're going to get into green screen, is just get a green screen and just play around with it. Don't do a serious video straight away. I mean that's kind of what I did. Just have a mess around, like, you know, if you've got kids, get the kids to jump around in front of it and just have a play around with the software and just get used to a chroma keying. You know, and it, you know, it won't take you long to get into it, and then you can, you know, start doing some more serious videos. So I think really it's just sort of trial and error is the best way to go with it.
That's
Because that,
exactly the answer I was hoping to hear from you, because that's exactly what I did as well. When I first get into green screen, you have to play around with it and sort of look at putting yourself into different situations and just having fun with it. And that's one of the things you need to remember, is have fun, in my opinion,
yeah.
as well. So you kind of that.
Ian says here, if you record naked, that will get their attention. But I think that's
Is that Ian Horner, is it?
it. Probably is. Yes.
Yeah.
He says he's disappointed that there's no beers on the desk.
There's beers there.
Yeah, there was.
So Matthew, obviously as marketers, we all understand that most marketers have a funnel. Do you have a one-time offer within your product? And if so, would you be happy to let us know what this is?
Yeah, there is a one-time offer there, and basically that is a package or a bundle of virtual studios. So that's, you know, that's all it is. It's
Okay,
just
so
as
it's
simple
not
as that, basically.
not essential, but it is something that adds to it, because when you go to do green screen, basically what you're saying is most people look for studios or backgrounds that they can use, and your one-time offer is basically providing that for them.
Exactly, yeah. So they you know, they've got somewhere good to put themselves once they've done their green screen video.
Okay.
Matthew, could you just recap what's in the front end of offer? So the front end of it, just recap, just go through again and let everybody know what's there. So, and can they get started with what they get in the front end? So
They can get started with the knowledge, but obviously they would need lights and a green screen and a camera. I mean, that's obvious. But so basically, I take you through like an overview of green screen and how to set up and stuff like that. Then I go through editing with your software.
yeah,
Then I go through how to make money with your green screen.
yeah,
Then I go through basically using your own camera to get your own backgrounds and what you can do there, you know, if you're working for clients and stuff like that. And then I go through basically where to go next with green screen if you want to take it up to the professional level sort of thing.
right.
And I think that's it from memory, but I can just have a quick look at it.
Yeah, there were some audios and things in there, if I recall rightly, as well. Are they in the
Yeah,
audio?
that's right. Yeah, every
module's got the audio underneath, so if you want to listen to it on the fly, then you can do that as well.
yeah, that's it.
It's
Yeah.
underneath every video. It's an audio link as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And we've also got Todd Gross's super cool green screen trick where he actually does green screen without a green screen, but I can't reveal too much because that will completely give it away. But you know, that's basically what it is. It's his super cool trick. So
it is cool, yeah.
This is additional training inside your incredible green screen.
Yeah, that's Todd in there. Yeah.
Excellent.
And then you get the ebook as well. You can download all the videos. You can download all the MP3s as well, if you want to take them with you and watch them on the go or whatever when you're offline.
There's obviously a link to Matthew's group. If some of you guys in here are not on there, there's a link in there to go join the group.
And it is a good video group. Both Chris and I are members of that, and it seems to have some real video experts in there.
I'm just going to grab the link to it for you, Matthew, now, and I'll put it into the chat box for anybody that's listening. They can come across, and if they keep an eye on the chat box, I have the link added in there. So you can come across and join Matthew's group there. Obviously, request permission and let either Ian, Matthew, or myself know that you came in either from our list or from this webinar, and they'll obviously enter you, add you straight to the group. So, Ian, I would like to hear your perspective of the actual launch day and how it was for you assisting Matthew.
How it happened?
Yeah, well, how did it go down in your eyes rather than Matthew's eyes?
In my eyes, I got back from a business trip on the island and got a message from Matthew launching tomorrow morning. That was what I got. So, okay, I literally just walked in from a business trip. I've been away for a week, and I got that text message from Matthew. So we're launching tomorrow morning. What do you mean we're launching tomorrow morning? Well, it's launching tomorrow morning. It's going to be hectic. I'll tell you more. And it's like, okay, I literally just walked into my office. I got that, and it's like, I'm launching an incredible green screen. It's like, okay, cool. 5 o'clock in the morning, he messaged me. We're going to about 1,000 sales going to come in within a few minutes. And it's like, okay, have you put this in place? Have you put this in place? Have you put this in place? What do you mean? I said, well, the support. He said, oh, don't worry about that. I'm forwarding all of the support to your business email address.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah,
that's what friends are for, isn't it?
I looked at my message at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I just thought to myself, I'm not getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning, so I just turned my phone back off. I'm back to sleep again, and I've got another message. Oh my God, like that. So I went down to my office and started up my computer, and it was just relentless email after email coming into my inbox before I even got to the support email. So we obviously went through all the support tickets and sorted all the customers out, any issues and stuff. Obviously pointed out to Matthew that there's a problem with the link, which he then said, I know there's a problem with the link, but I can't do anything about it. And that's why can't you do anything about it? Because OptiPress, the hub was bust, API key didn't work, wasn't updating it. I said, okay, you do know that the email that's going out is going out blank. So instead of sending people username and passwords, it was sending them a blank email, which was ever so handy for the support questions that I was getting through to my business account. So I said to him, okay, Matthew, go and set up a Gmail account, forward all of the support email to one Gmail account so it stops coming to mine. So we set that up. Sorted all the emails out, and every now and again we'd get one person come in, their username and password wasn't working, or they'd put in the wrong password, so they was trying to email back to support, but the email wasn't going back out because it was blank. So we had all of them support queries to deal with. We sorted them all out. We didn't get any complaints of it really at all. No. One person, I just can't get into it, so we sorted that out. Then the server crashed. We noticed that really quickly and moved literally straight onto the support at D9 to get that sorted. But they have an hour wait time for the support question. So Matthew is on there, so I've already contacted them, and I'm sat there refreshing the thing. He's saying this is not, in my eyes, it should have been done straight away. Yeah. So I got onto the support and I didn't rip into him. I was just saying to him, I'm going to forward all of the emails that I'm getting to my inbox to yours. They increased the bandwidth, as I said earlier. So the bandwidth problem was stopped. Then we was getting people trying to buy the next product that's being launched soon, because the bandwidth had exceeded on everything. We literally just, I think we melted the bandwidth that we was using across all of the other sites as well. It wasn't just on Incredible Green Screen; it was across the whole lot. So we was trying to change 3 or 4 different hosting accounts to try and get them back active, whilst at the same time knowing we've got this massive amount of traffic coming through to Incredible Green Screen. So we was solely focused on that, and it was like 12 hours continuous. I didn't move at all. I come down in my pyjama bottoms. My wife come into me at 8:10 in the evening and said, "Are you going to spend any time with me at all today?" Going like that. Yeah. So I went in there, and I obviously had my phone with me, so I was doing support from my phone, sat in my front room. My wife went to bed early, in a right mood. So I just went back out to my office and carried on doing the support and sorting everybody out, adding people to the group. As you know, we had a lot of people in the group that day. How many was it? Hundreds of people joining the group, and we're going to get hundreds and hundreds more as well from it, because people were still going through the training and stuff.
So we were making 3 sales per minute.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, so how important do you feel it is to have a partner or somebody alongside you when you're entering into the launch phase?
If your product's going to do anywhere, and I mean anywhere near 1,000 sales or anywhere near 500 sales, and you're not experienced at all in launching, you need somebody to help you do the support. Not saying that Matthew wouldn't have been able to handle it, but it was creaking.
We were maxed out, the two of us.
It was creaking. It was relentless, and I literally didn't move. I didn't drink, didn't eat anything at all. All for 12 hours, just literally on the computer continuously for 12 hours. So if there's one person going to launch a product that's going to be anywhere on the scale of that, if they've got a lot of big affiliates on board, or the product starts to gain momentum, get somebody straight away, ask a friend to help you, just reply to emails and stuff, because in my opinion, there's nothing worse than support. You buy a product and then nobody contacts you for a day. There's nothing worse than that.
Yeah.
We had no PayPal complaints at all. We obviously got limited straight away on PayPal, just closed it down straight away, because the sheer amount of money that come into PayPal, they limited the account. So Matthew's on the phone to them to say that, sort that out, and then they were fine after that. So would I say get some help? 100%,
definitely, yeah.
100%, definitely.
Did PayPal release your account or free up your account quite quickly, Matthew, or were they sort of hesitant to do so?
Yeah, they freed it up straight away. What it actually was I had to just kind of fill in a form, basically saying that I was English, not American. But I had actually phoned PayPal the day before and tried to kind of warn them that I was going to have a sudden rush of cash coming in there. They were pretty kind of loose about, well, you might get limited, you might not get limited, this might happen or this might not happen. So I was in complete limbo, and when I realised they limited it, I completely freaked out and panicked. Also, they did actually phone me up the next day, and they wanted to see my sales page and where I was taking the money and exactly what I was doing. Once I explained it to them, they was completely fine about it, and they did say to me, is this going to be ongoing? And I explained to them I've got another 2 launches coming up pretty soon, so they've got that on their system, and hopefully everything will be all right. But I think really there's no clear rules on what could actually happen, which could be a nightmare.
PayPal, just obviously if you're not used to getting tens of thousands of pounds coming to your PayPal account all in one go, then they just block it for fraud straight away.
Yeah.
And anybody that's obviously they're doing it legitimately, you phone PayPal up and they just ask you a few questions and then they sort it out.
Yeah.
I've had my account got limited before for that reason. Selling items, they just limited it. I phoned them up, said I'm a business user, blah blah blah, and then they just unlimit it. It's just to protect the end customer, really.
So basically, what you guys are saying, or what it appears, that anything that could have went wrong on a launch, You faced that and
Yeah.
still came through the other side with, what was it, 14 or 1500 sales.
Yeah. We did nail it, really. So.
You know, anybody else maybe couldn't cope with that stress or the fact, but
That's the tester for the next one's coming out.
it certainly
It-
is. And maybe
It was. Sorry, Chris. Sorry.
I was going to say, maybe giving some other guys a bit of advance notice, letting us know where we can, as friends, step in and say, look, I'm here as well. If you need me, I'm going to be online. If you want, I can deal with the Facebook group, but you were managing everything. Although I did say, but in future, if you come up for a big launch, you definitely need your friends.
I very did nearly message you for your phone number.
I did say to you at one point. I said Chris said he would help us. Like,
Because the sheer amount of people just adding them into the group, because every person in the group's personally welcomed.
Yeah.
Adding all of them people in, it was relentless. It was like taking me 40 minutes just to write out the people, just to enter them into the group.
And by the time you finished, there was a load more, wasn't there?
Then I went back to the support desk and I was flicking between it, trying to get this thing, and then there was more.
Yeah.
And then more and more. So
what
I'll remember that next time, Chris.
So what I want
next time we'll get you, Chris.
I was just going to say, what I want to drop into
We've got this as proof.
Conversation here is, if anybody that's on the live call wants to ask any questions, we understand there is a bit of a delay, but drop them into the chat box and we'll pose them to Matthew and Ian, and we'll just carry on with the conversation, and I'll keep an eye on that. The other thing I wanted to mention is, if you go and look at the pop-ins option, if you're interested in Matthew's incredible green screen, he has a special offer still running, and the link's either there or it's there within the chat as a sticky. So go and check that out if you're interested in Matthew's incredible green screen. So obviously, going back to the launch and your Facebook group, how have you found your Facebook group has grown since your launch, since obviously you went live with this?
Like a rocket.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, it did explode, and I haven't really had time to kind of get to know the people or anything yet. It's still, I mean, what day is it now? Thursday.
Yeah.
I mean, this week has just kind of flown by, really. My feet haven't touched the floor, and now Ian's here. We're working on another product right now, so we're absolutely up to our eyes in it while you're here as well. Yeah. So there's just never enough hours in the day. So I mean, I'm hoping that at some point before Christmas, things will actually calm down, and
we'll do it 2016.
Yeah, and I can relax a bit.
Well, to be honest, being that busy is no bad thing either, especially if you're making advancements in your business. You're pushing to move yourself forward, in my opinion.
Absolutely, it's a good problem to have.
We took on a full-time VA this morning.
Oh, did you? Yeah, it's that sensible. Yeah.
Very good indeed. So, Ian, he's just put he works for beers. Not really a question.
Ian works for beers. If he sends us a message, I can supply him beer for working. That's not a problem.
There's a legitimate questions came in from Ian. He's asking, what support desk did you use?
We didn't have a support. What was happening was I set up a support at incrediblegreenscreen.com email, which was going through my hosting account, and that was just literally being forwarded to a Gmail account that we could both log into from both ends.
That's not how it started.
No, that's not how it started.
You was forwarding it all to me.
Yeah, at first.
We then changed it to the Gmail account so we could both access it.
Because I realised we both needed to get in, and then we could see which one had been answered and which one hadn't been answered. So that's how it was set up in the end. By the end of the day.
Yeah, it was soon after. We realised straight away that this was just going to become crazy.
Yeah.
Mark, you have a suggestion for a good support desk? You mentioned it.
Yeah. Our membership software was created by a chap called Andrew Hunter, but he also has recently created a plugin called Sonic Reply. I'll just put the link into the chat box, and basically, Sonic Reply is, as I say, is a plugin that you can put into. We put the plugin into a fresh WordPress installation, and it is a support desk. And the great thing about it is it really produces tremendous stats on the back end, so you can manage your help desk and see how quickly you're replying to tickets and where they are in the pipeline. So that you can actually monitor how effective you are as a support desk. If you go for something like Zendesk, you're going to pay. I think you have to pay a monthly fee, and it can be quite expensive. But this plugin starts, I think, at $27 for a single installation. I think it goes up to $67 for the all singing, all dancing developers version. But $27, you get your help desk. And we used that on our Hangout Cash Code launch, and it worked tremendously well.
Right.
So that I can recommend it from personal experience. So for your next one, that might come in useful.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll have a look at it. I will, Mark.
David's asking the question: is Zendesk worth getting? What Mark's actually mentioned and put into the chat box is actually a plugin that you can install on your WordPress hosting, and this will allow you to sort of self-manage your own support. But it obviously isn't going to reduce the workload if you have a lot of questions coming in. So I haven't personally used Zendesk. I used to use a free option called Hesk. But I now also have the Sonic Reply, although I don't have it installed yet, but I intend to use it.
I was actually looking at Hesk today. How did you find that? Was that, how would you compare that to?
Yeah, Sonic Reply, you can actually brand, because you can put it onto your own WordPress installation. You can brand your help desk, where you can't do that on Hesk. So, in other words, it looks more professional is the short route. But as I say, it also produces some really handy stats and tells you how quickly you're replying to tickets, and so that you can get a feel for, for example, if you've taken on this virtual assistant, you're going to need to manage that virtual assistant and make sure that she's responding quickly enough to tickets. And it's very, very handy to quickly see on the back end, just how efficiently you're handling your tickets. So, and where they all are in the pipeline.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
While we're talking about help desks and stuff, if people are sat there a bit worried about help desks and stuff, there's loads and loads of lessons to be learnt from help desks. The support that you give, the way that you manage with your support, you get questions and stuff that they come up, and then you end up with a big file. This is what me and Matthew did. We ended up with a big file where people are asking certain questions. We'd just reply, cut and paste certain answers that had already been asked. You build up a database of questions that people ask. It saves so much time on the support. It's unbelievable. Yeah. Obviously, a VA is going to save us a lot more time, but we're still going to have to be hands-on. We still want to be hands-on.
Yeah, it keeps a record like a thread, so you've got the original question, your reply, and then if they send another question, you've got the thread there so you can follow the conversation. And so it's very, very easy. Yeah.
David has posed a question here. He's saying basically if your website or your hosting goes down due to traffic overload, will your help desk go down too? And it probably will if it's on the same hosting. So if you're going to have server crushing traffic, it might be as well to have your partner. So Matthew could have had his help desk or a help desk hosted on Ian's hosting and vice versa, and that could reduce the load.
I'd challenge that actually, Chris, because when you set your accounts up in your cPanel, or when I got shared sort of reseller hosting, you actually set the bandwidth for each installation, Chris. So if you've got your help desk on a separate installation and a separate domain name, then your help desk probably wouldn't go down. But if it's on the same domain name, it could do. That's why I say put it onto a separate installation and a separate domain. Yeah.
Okay. And Matthew,
we're putting our new help desk on a completely separate host, completely separate domain name.
Right.
Because
that should be fine.
I'm one of these people that I've got my own server and I've got reseller hosting as well, with multiple domain names on, and customer. I've got a separate business from internet marketing. I've got a separate business that hosts websites and stuff, and all of my customers are on these separate ones. Our help desk will go on there because I know full well that's never going to go down. If it did, our product's not going to. Well, it probably would. No luck. But both servers and both hosts going down at the same time is very, very unlikely to ever happen.
Yeah.
So as long as the product's up, or if it goes down, we can still contact the customers.
Yeah.
I can understand what you're saying. Totally, you allocate the bandwidth on your own server. I understand what you're saying.
The other thing is Ian Horn has just reminded me that there's also within Sonic Reply a knowledge base. So before you do your launch, you can put in the the standard questions and your answers. So you could probably mitigate some of your help desk traffic through your knowledge base as well.
Yeah.
That's on HESC as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's on HESC as well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I just keeping an eye on the time here as well, and we're running to nearly an hour, so we'll sort of take it very quickly back across to the green screen. Matthew, how important would you say green screen videos are to a video marketer who's working online today?
I would say, depending on your situation, if you don't have access to a really nice studio and everything, they can make a huge difference in the type of videos that you're putting out, which will make you look a lot more professional, and probably in the long run, help your video marketing a lot more than if you're just kind of sat there in your house, because the effects you can do. Also, working for other people, other clients and stuff like that, if you're working for somebody who's got a hotel in Barbados, you can actually make videos for that guy in Barbados simply by him sending you some video footage of the hotel. You could actually put yourself there and work for him. So the advantages are, pretty huge, really. I think they could make a big difference to video, which is obviously why I do it and why you do it, Chris.
Well, that's one of the things I want
there is a big advantage.
Reference here was the video that we used for the actual registration page of this particular event. Is a news style or a newsroom style video where you and I are basically introducing this event. Would you like to talk a little bit about that and how we actually came up with this particular video?
Yeah, well, I mean, so basically what we did using the advantage of green screen is we were able to shoot. We had a script, didn't we? And we were able to both record ourselves with our green screen or in our studios, and put ourselves in the same room together as if we were having a conversation. And it was a bit weird, wasn't it, Chris, recording it? And I said to you, you look to the left or something, I'll look to the right, and you have to sort of kind of do nods and stuff like that. And basically have a conversation with yourself and imagine what the other person's saying. But yeah, it worked out really good. I mean, a couple of people that I know that saw it didn't actually realise we weren't in the same room. So it must have had a pretty good effect. And I think if you practiced that and honed it, you could do a really good job, and you could even have more than 2 people.
That was using the virtual studio, wasn't it? That's inside Incredible Green Screen.
Yeah.
So that actual virtual studio
Yeah.
is in there, isn't it?
Yeah.
One of the things I would like to mention that for any of these guys that are on the call be interested to know, Matthew and I likewise have never personally met. So this was all done with me being in Northern Ireland and Matthew being somewhere in deep Wales or mid Wales, and over the power of the internet. Basically, it was a concept that we came up with, and we scripted it, and basically both got in front of our respective green screens and recorded the portion as if the full conversation was happening. And then there was a bit of editing. It was fun to do. Again, back to the fun portion. But we both run with the script, and we both had to remember to look the correct direction. And I think it came out quite well for a first attempt. And like you said, the more you practice it, the better you could probably hone that.
Yeah, that's it.
I think we need to put Ian in his the proper setting. He's in a shed surrounded by a field of sheep, aren't you? Matthew.
I am.
I only just managed to get him, drag him in here a minute ago.
We've been filming all day today. We've been filming the whole day.
Right.
Good to hear. Good to hear that you've other stuff in the pipeline as well. Obviously, it'd be worth keeping an eye out to see what you're coming up with next.
I hope you're not filming the sheep.
Yeah, I was quite upset.
Okay, we're coming up onto the hour mark, so we're going to sort of wrap up. And what I want to basically say is, if you have any final questions, get them into the chat box, because that's obviously the reason why we're running this event live. We want to see if you have any questions you want to ask. Now's your chance to ask them. I'll keep an eye on the chat box. Additionally, when you're here, if you still want to check out Matthew's offer, then check the sticky link out. Or if you're watching this in the replay, well, I'll ensure that there's an annotation over the video where you can click through and go and check this out. So obviously, just carry on talking about your whales. People, maybe some of the American people won't understand as well. That's a bit of a joke about whales and sheep. That's why this is coming up for the guys that don't understand why we're laughing and joking about this.
It's the first. If any of you say anybody you live in Wales, it's the first thing that anybody will say to you is sheep.
If I could show the camera outside the studio door, there's a field literally 5 meters away from the door, and it's a sheep's field. And when I speak to Matthew, I can hear sheep from his office. I think they're actually inside his office. Which is,
I was going to say,
I interviewed Matt Bozak the other day, and just as I started interviewing him, the sheep was going, bah. He said, "Is that sheep?"
I was going to say, Kurt has mentioned that he got it, and the product's incredible. Ian Horner, or I think it's Ian Horner, saying, "Get this, it's so much value at such a low cost," and also he's saying it was a JV Zoo #1 product of the day. So remember that.
It is good. We wouldn't recommend anything that wasn't good. So
products that make JV Zoo product of the day, they don't get there for just being a good, they get there on the virtue of being a very good product, and obviously people seeing the value in it as well.
Inside Matthew's group, over 1,200 people. Obviously, there's more than 1,200. That's the first day, wasn't it? How many people was it?
What we added? I have no idea. I lost track of it.
However many people bought the green screen products, they were added into the Facebook group. Not one person at all had a bad word to say about it, and that's on an open group on Facebook that we had people in. It's not a dedicated group just to this product. It's a dedicated group to video, which everybody helps each other in. Which obviously comes with that product.
Yeah. Well, Chris and I
you can join it anyway and go and ask.
Yeah, we can testify to that. So
one thing I'd like to mention is there's no spam goes on in that group, because there is what I would like to refer to pretty hot admin, and any spam at all that happens and we're on it. I don't take any nonsense in the group. When I see it, I'll delete it very quickly. Some of you guys
ban people if they do it.
Yeah. It's me that leaves it.
Ian Horn is asking whether he can have a free sheep with it.
We're sending him a blow-up one in the post.
James F is saying he doesn't see the link for the help desk software. Mark, can you drop that into the chat?
Yeah, I'll do it again. This is it.
And that's there's no other questions appear to be coming in, so we're just going to wrap this up once Mark gets the link in. Mark Salmon's got the link in, Sonic Reply. So any other questions or anything, drop them in now. Otherwise, we're going to be wrapping this call up very, very soon, guys.
Yeah. Congratulations, by the way, you guys. You've done a tremendous job, and we're looking forward. Oh, hang on, I've just turned on.
Can you announce any dates, Matthew, for any future launches that are coming up? Just while you're on, do you have any fixed dates? You're not at liberty to say it.
I don't have any fixed dates. I can't.
Within the next 6 weeks.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Within the next 6 weeks, one of them.
Yeah.
Definitely, possibly two.
You don't have an idea which product, or you're not going to reveal?
The Miami product will be coming first.
Okay.
And then the Virtual Studios product will be coming after that.
And very, very, very quickly, you've referred to it as your Miami product. Can you explain to people that don't know? I have a rough idea what this is. Can you explain to people what this is?
Sounds like it's drugs or something.
Well, the Miami product is basically a year ago now, or over a year ago, I approached John Cornetta and asked him if I could come to Miami and stay with him for a week and film him. You know how the millionaire lifestyle in Miami and so forth.
How the other half live.
Yeah, the other half live. But what actually happened was, because I literally just went there with a camera and, you know, 2 cameras, 2 iPhones for recording and some Rode microphones, and I just went there with no plan really. You know, that was my only. I had a loose idea of what I wanted to do, and the whole week developed into me kind of just meeting one person after another. You know, John introduced me to so many different people. You know, hung around with Tom Beale and John at Deerfield Beach, and then just met a ton of other people, and it really turned it. You know, I ended up going to Matt Basak's private mansion and everything. He took me out for dinner, and it's turned into more about not just John Cornetta, but everybody that I met there, and it's my story of how I literally did spend my last money on that plane ticket because, well, you know, I can't give too much away, but it's turned into, you know, the information I got from these guys in Miami and the story and the journey that I went through and what happened to me basically. Without giving, I could talk a lot more about it, but I don't want to give it all away.
I would say the relationships you've made there could actually fuel your business long into the future, probably.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Massively.
Yeah, that's the key to it.
It starts at the very, very beginning where Matthew started.
Yeah.
With all what he's just said, and then it ends up in a very large, well-known event, but we can't say any more than that.
Yeah.
Okay.
One, we're still filming it today. And if we let the cat out of the bag before it's done, it's just not going to get the impact.
Fine.
Yeah.
Sounds exciting.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Excellent. Very exciting. Now, for anybody that's actually going to be listening to the audio or the audio podcast of this particular show, I also want to drop in, if you go to marketersradio.com/incredible, you'll be able to go and check out Matthew's product as well. So there'll be a link there for you as well. So marketersradio.com/incredible. So, what's that? Sorry, Ian.
We're also launching tgeartraining.com as well. That's going to be coming out shortly as well.
What's this training for?
It's a new multi-platform. Most people have heard about T-shirts being sold.
Oh yes, yeah.
Yeah. This is a platform that's different from the other ones, but it's a new platform. It's not even out yet, so we can't say too much about that. But yeah,
sounds exciting.
Free.
And the training that we're doing is free for people.
Excellent.
Mark, can you very quickly send a private message to James F? He said he doesn't see the link, and apart from that, I think we're going to wrap this call up here. So we're not getting any final sort of questions coming in. Charles, as basically said, there's no question yet, just many congratulations and thanks. Ian, he says you need to get into the group and share this with their friends for a special webinar. I'm
just posting that link again. That is the link there, right at the top of the chat box.
Okay.
Mark-salmon.com /likes /Sonic R. That's my.
Okay.
Like mine.
Can you remember that, Chris?
What was that? Sorry.
Matthew's sales link /dot-hyphen_.
From the last time we run this, for any guys that's on this call, we previously run this before I'd grown this list. Matthew had a special early bird launch. This was going to be like a beta launch. Again, any mistakes that can be made happened. And when we got to the point, and I says, Matthew, can you tell us the link? Yes, I can. It's incrediblegreenscreen.com special-early-bird-_- and it's one of the longest URLs ever, and it's so hilarious that this happened on the live call. And again, it's marketing 101 to a certain extent. Basically, you don't want to make this mistake, but it was a funny time. I believe
It was fantastic. Highlight of my year.
Do you remember what you said?
What I
You
said?
could have just said sail.
You said, why don't you just make it sail?
But it's things you have to learn as you go through your launches, and you will make these mistakes yourselves. And you look at the product and look at how it's been for you since then, and even the mistakes are not the mistakes, but the problems that you faced on the actual proper official launch, and you still got through. With product of the day, you absolutely smashed it out of the park. And for anybody that's listening or watching the video, I highly recommend the product and go and get your hands on it.
Yeah, definitely.
So on that note, I think we'll end the call. We'll say good night, guys. To
Yeah,
everybody.
good night. Thanks everybody for attending. We really appreciate it.
For anybody else that's listening to the audio, thanks a lot for listening in. We'll hope you found this call helpful, and we'll just let Matthew say goodbye, and we'll finish up.
Yeah, all right then, guys. So thanks for everyone's support, and appreciate taking the time to listen to what I've got to say. So hopefully I'll see you again soon.
Okay, that's it, guys. Good night and goodbye.
Okay, cheers.
Bye.